Okay, how about a little resurrection? This is a Philco, probably from about 1940. This is one of those ones that I got for 15 bucks. I got a whole bunch of consoles for 15 bucks each, so this is one of the 3 that I got. The main problem is it's missing a few tubes. Why is that a problem? Well, it's because it uses these Lochtal tubes. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, so you can see the rectifier and audio output tube have been pulled out, and the rest of the tubes are there. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Spider. Ooh, alive, eh? Not for long. So here are the tubes. Of course, I don't have any of these because they're Lochtal tubes. Stupid Philco. Early Philco radios were really good, but by the 40s, you know, Philco became, you know, junk. These Lochtal tubes are horrible. Blah, blah, blah. No model number. No model number. There's a chassis type there, which I looked up and can't find any information on. The tuning string is broken. You can see that. This is the tuning string. It's hanging way out the back here. It is the world's smallest power transformer. I've never seen a power transformer for a radio smaller than this. This is ridiculous. It's pathetic. I hope it's not bad, though. And then up here we have the push button thing for the push buttons. And it's got this kind of angled dial, which is pretty nice. And the push buttons are loose. There's some screws missing. Okay, so here it is, the Philco. You can see these tubes look like they were really recently pulled out. I wonder how long this thing's been sitting. I mean, there's a lot of dust in it. I mean, I just can't get over this power transformer. It's pathetic. Look at that. Most radios have a bigger output transformer than this thing. I bet this thing gets red hot when it's been running for a few minutes. You know, that's pathetic. This is just such a stupid design. This is like, Philco was like the cheesy clown of the radio world. Like, look at this. Look at this crap here. They put rubber grommets there, which have rotted away, for the buttons. Why? They should have just mounted it to this frame here, which is like strong. But no, it's loose to do its own. It's so stupid, Philco. And of course, it has a complicated tuning string, which goes all around all these wheels and stuff. But the tuner still turns, because it has its own separate string just going around right here. So at least I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to restring it. I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't even know if it works yet, if I can get it working. I think what I'm going to do here is, instead of waste money and time trying to find and buy these tubes, I'm just going to rewire these. I'm going to figure something out for that. Again, I'm not trying to restore it. I'm just trying to make it work. Let's flip it over. Okay, yeah. Looks, you know, pretty normal. Got your paper capacity. It's actually, you know, it could be a lot worse. There's not much in here. There's a few filter capacitors. There's this one and there's this one. Yeah, look at that. What is that right there? 16 microfarad. Oh good, that's only a single capacitor. This is like one capacitor. And this is like another, really? Really? These are only like a single section, huh? Wow, yeah, okay, these are like single section. There's only like 2 filter capacitors in here. They're both 16 microfarad, 450 volts. Cool. Easy. We got an output transformer. Those tube sockets that I'm gonna have to rewire though. They're right down in there. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Let me just think about this and see what I can come up with. Uh-oh, it's not looking so good for the Philco. I had picked out the two tubes I was going to use. I was going to put in a 6AQ5 and a 6X4 in place of this stupid Loctal tubes. But anyway, the field coil on the speaker is open. And this is why going from the part of the field coil to ground shorted. So I bet it's one of these. I bet some jackass plugged it in and just blew up the field coil, I'm sure, and then pulled the tubes out. So, well, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to fix this, but you know what? I guess I will. I might as well. I just need a resistor to put across where the field coil used to go, and then replace the speaker, and then I don't know. Okay, it's been a while, but here's what I've done. The first thing we need to do was get the tubes in there. So here's what I did. It is very sloppy. This is very sloppy and not too safe, but you know what? As long as it works. I have looked up the data sheets for these two tubes and of course the old ones, and I have wired them up. The 6X4 and the 6AQ5 replacing the other ones. And what I did is I stuffed wires through the holes of the sockets and I just soldered them in. And then I'm ready to test it out. The open field coil has been replaced with a resistor. I just guessed on that resistance because I don't know what the original field coil resistance was and I don't have the schematic, so I'm just guessing and putting in a 5K. It could be a 2K. It's probably a 2K. Most of them were around 2,000 ohms. And then I have put in 2 new filter capacitors, so we're ready for testing. I just need to find a speaker and connect it, and then we can slowly bring it up on the Variac. Okay, let's see if I did all this right. I got the speaker connected, and I put a meter to measure the B+. It's only 30 volts, so, you know. Nah. Still not doing anything. Okay. We're getting light out of the tubes, though. Oh. There we go. Starting to come up. The tube must be a little weak, the rectifier. Oh, well, this is a piece of shit radio. Ooh, I'm getting a little hum out of the speaker. Cool. Let's keep going up. 80 volts. Ooh. Ooh, that's a sound of success. I need an antenna. Need an antenna on this, and then maybe we can actually get something out of it. Amazing. What if it actually works? I'd be impressed. Okay. Okay. Not tuning in anything. Maybe I'm on the wrong button or the wrong band, or I'm gonna just play with it for a minute. At least it's making noise. Okay. It's working, but there's one problem, and it's a problem that I thought might happen, and it did. If we turn it up, on low volume, it sounds like it should. As soon as you turn it up, it sounds like shit. That's because the tube must be biased on to not enough. Oh, wait a minute. What's that doing in there? I don't know what the problem is. That doesn't look like it should be doing that. It's not very warm, very hot though, so maybe that's just, I don't know. But I don't think this is biased on enough. It's just not getting hot. So I'm gonna just check the negative voltage and see if that'll, I might have to put in a resistor to change the bias so that you know, it won't be all distorted. But it works. Well, it was working, and then it suddenly just voltage dropped. The voltage started dropping, and then it just died. So I've just been tracing it out. There's really not many capacitors in here. This is the grid coupling capacitor. This is a negative voltage filtering capacitor. These are just, this thing buried in here is a low voltage. I don't know what these three here are, but there's this one. Okay, and on this side here, the B plus comes through this resistor. Then it goes to one side of this capacitor. And the other side of this capacitor comes here. And this is one side of the field coil. But the field coil in this radio is actually in the ground circuit. It's creating like a floating ground. So here's your center tap of your high voltage here. And then it comes through the field coil, and then it goes to the chassis. So basically this capacitor goes between right here and right there. And if I measure it, 4.9 ohms. So I'm going to clip this out, and then it should work because this thing shorted out. And then I also, while I was playing around with the radio, I flipped the tone control, and this capacitor, one of these, is also shorted because it brought the voltage down by like 80 volts. So one of these is shorted as well. But anyway, I'm going to clip this one capacitor out here, and then we'll see if it still works. Okay, it's working again, but the voltage is still super low. But we also have a very leaky grid coupling capacitor. If I measure it here, on the grid of the audio output tube, we are getting 55 volts. That is bad. I also think there's something else shorted here because the voltage is just way too low. Way too low. We're getting like only 100 volts. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm just going through and replacing a few of the capacitors, just the stuff that needs to be replaced. There's the new grid coupling capacitor, and I'm going to put in 2 old filter capacitors out of a computer power supply or something. There's one more capacitor, and it's that one right down there at the bottom. That one has the high voltage on it, and oh boy, I don't know what I'll do if that one shorts out. Guess I'll just cut one of the wires and estimate a value for it. I guess it's probably a 0.01 or a 0.02 maybe. I don't know. That thing is buried in there. There's actually not much in here, though, if you really look at it. It's mostly, like, long wires that could have been shortened up a lot. Like, look at this speaker wire. They could have shortened that and had, like, this right here and this. Waste of space. But anyway, I just got to... Oh, yeah. And I also cut... This was the grid leak resistor. I cut that out. And that was causing some distortion, so I soldered it back. And now I'm just going to, you know, finish the filter capacitors up. I'm going to leave this in here. It was actually... the reason the volume was low in the last clip is because my shitty Chinese wires that I used to connect the speaker, one of these was open, and I had to, like, shake it to get it to make... And it would, the volume, it would cut in and out, so... It's not actually the radio's fault. It's the shitty Chinese clip leads. But anyway, I'm just going to solder these up and we'll give it a test. I don't know what to do about this. These tubes are very loose. They could short out, but I'll probably just, I don't know, I'll figure something out. There it is. It's working. And there's only one filter capacitor in there. I just wanted to test it out. I'm not sure. It's working very well, so I think I'm going to leave that 5K in there. Actually, I did find another speaker, though. So here's the original. Here is, I think these are 8-inch speakers, but here, this is a 1930s, early 30s speaker that some guy gave me when I bought a whole bunch of radios. So I'm going to have to see if this fits. This is a much better quality speaker than the original. The original, you know, this one's obviously much better quality, although it did have a little hole in it. I'm going to have to rewire it because the voice coil is actually connected to the, directly to the field coil. So the voice coil is basically floated up at whatever the B plus is at this, on this speaker. So I'm going to have to add a terminal strip or something to connect the other side of the voice coil to, so I can disconnect it from the field coil. This is a weird kind of design, but that's how they did it. But this speaker works. The field coil resistance is 1.8K, and I don't think that's enough for what this is. I'm gonna try and find a 2 or 3K resistor to put in series with the field coil. And I don't know what to do about this. I might take the plug off here and try and stick it. Maybe I'll mount it on one of these holes here, if I can. Then I'll be able to use the nice field coil speaker and not a shitty speaker with holes in it. This speaker really sucks and it wouldn't fit anyway. So I'm going to just see if what happens. It is working well though, which is nice. It's nice and loud. It's good and loud now. Okay, it took a while, but here it is. All working. I even figured out how to fix almost all of the hum. So this black wire here goes to the ground of the grid leak resistor, which is the floated ground. And it goes, and then I realized you could just connect the filter capacitor to that, and that gets rid of a lot of the hum. So now this thing's really quiet. See if here, if I unground it, really makes it much better. And I found a resistor to put in there. It's about right. Same as the 5K. It's about 5K still. And now it's working.
Then he utters these words. Listening to. Summer is right around the corner, and so are Vancouver Canadians games at Nat Bailey Stadium. Tickets to...
There we go. So, what I need to do is mount all these components inside the radio somehow. I don't know where I'm going to put that resistor. It gets kind of hot. I don't want to put it near stuff that's going to get baked. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to connect the field coil to the chassis. Again, I think I'm going to take the plug off the old speaker and put it mounted onto this speaker. And then it works. And it actually didn't take that long to get this working. I was surprised. This thing, when I got it, seemed like it was going to be a total nightmare. But actually, not that bad. Could have been worse. So, it works.
She's like, San Diego State basketball, what? As a traffic pattern change.
Okay, I don't know what that is. Do you know, I think it's the fact that I cut one of these. There's this capacitor that I cut out. I'm going to see if I can replace that and fix that squealing. Alright, we're getting close. We're getting close. So, it's working. I replaced that one capacitor that was shorted because that was causing it to oscillate at the higher frequencies. So, that was important. And I replaced that resistor in the negative biasing network. That was I thought it was open. I thought the resistor was open, so I replaced it. But it was actually the wire going to my multimeter that was open. Like, ugh, how cheap. But anyway, all I need to do, the only thing I'm going to do is put in one more low voltage filtering capacitor across that resistor to filter out this bit of hum that there is still there. But it's working. And I also got rid of the resistor that was in series with the field coil because it's not actually necessary. Having it around 2,000 ohms is just fine, and plus it makes it simpler to wire up. It's not getting hot or anything. So I'm gonna mount a connector on here so we can and space basically finished. Well, there is this. There is an old AC line capacitor, but I'm just going to leave that in there. Okay, I wired up the speaker. I put some fresh wires on it, and I put the plug on it. I'm going to screw this plug onto one of these holes here. So it's all ready now. It should work. It's got my nice tube replacements. So yeah, I could still fix this, but I don't want to. The goal was just to get this to work, not actually restore it or make it safe or anything. Come on. Yep, the vacuum bulbs are lighting up. Well, maybe I messed something up. Fuck. Okay, yep. I did. Yep. I'm getting close to just saying fuck it, you know? With this kind of shit happening. Sheesh. Okay, it's all done now. The reason it shorted out is because these wires, there was some extra strands hanging loose and it must have touched this metal. So I just clipped those and then I hot glued it so that won't happen. And then the reason it wasn't actually working is because I had miswired the plug. The voice coil was wired to the wrong one of these, so I just fixed it. Now it works. So I'm going to put these back in the cabinet. Yeah, I know this is a bit messy, but it works. At least it works. I guess I could replace the ball, but you know, the tuning string's broken. So whatever. I might just replace the grommets for this because this is the off, this is the power button, so you kind of need to be able to press that. So I'll just find some garbage rubber things and stick them in there so that this isn't like doing that, and then we're good to go. Okay, here it is. It's done. I could have put in that capacitor to reduce the hum a bit, but you know, I was too lazy. I just wanted to see this stupid thing work. This had so much wrong with it, and it's still not perfect. But oh, and by the way, it's not as loud as it was earlier. I don't know why, but this is max volume now.
The team's most consistent play. Is your one-stop shop.
I like the coffee. For this time of year. Wow. Overnight we're down to 2, could see some showers.
Brian Montague, I hope people realize the gift that these individuals.
And here's the back. Fine quality power cord. Fine quality tube sockets. Hideous Philco Loctal tubes, which are garbage. Garbage Philco Loctal tubes. Who knows why the volume is lower? I don't care. It works at least with my replacement speaker.
Is currently in the hands of BC's Solicitor General. 4 counts of terror. Dutchman, Wagner's, and kind of goes with the low heart.
So, that's the end of it. The Philco, it looks nice, but boy, this had a lot wrong with it.